This video is brought to you by Bob and Brad, the most famous physical therapists on the internet. Hey everybody, Mac and Damer here for OCR Kings. That's right, the original all obstacles guys. We've gotten another fabulous sit rep from our friend Tom. He was at it again, this
Yes.
time out there in Colorado Springs. This was a Trifecta weekend that occurred on the 15th and 16th of June of 2024. Tom has a lot to say as always, and also as always, the information is fantastic, don't you think, Damer?
No, it's awesome. And Tom, as usual, is like just
He's a maniac.
just just keeps cranking them out.
We'll put a link to
Yeah,
this sit rep in its unabridged and original format out on our blog, as will we put a link to Tom's Instagram. Definitely link up with him, and if you see him out on the
that's right.
course, as some folks in this sit rep
Yeah, reportedly
did,
did. Yep.
and they said hello. This is great. Definitely link up with Tom, and if you get a chance to hang out with him, he's a great guy. So you should definitely
Yes,
do that.
definitely.
But without further ado, and jump in at any time with your experiences, Damer. You mentioned that you had been out in this location
I have not. That's
before.
right. Not for a Spartan, actually for rock climbing a couple years back, but certainly a beautiful area. So if you're doing a Spartan or just looking for a vacation destination, this area, the Rocky Mountains and Garden of Gods and Colorado Springs, is just a pretty fantastic spot. And Tom starts to highlight that as well, and what he talks about is so true.
So it sounds like it would be great for rock climbing because time and again throughout this sit rep, elevation and
Yeah,
incline and things like that come into play.
that's right.
But the Colorado Springs is located 70 miles south of Denver, Colorado, and the city and
Yep,
surrounding area sit at 6,000 feet above sea level. And this is near the
that's right.
foothills of Pikes Peak, which its elevation is 14,000
That's right.
feet. Wow. I mean, yikes. So, in true Tom fashion, he writes this area was created 55 million years ago when several tectonic plates slid underneath the North American plate, forming the Rocky Mountains. Amazing. I believe that's subduction. Tom, check in, correct me if I'm wrong. Today, the area, from a geological perspective, is called the Front Range Urban Corridor due to its location between the western range of the Rocky Mountains. Amazing, and the unique topography of the region have always supported habitation. Humans have lived here since the last ice age, approximately 11,700 years ago. Amazing,
That's right.
amazing. I'm in. This is
That's right.
fantastic and interesting above and beyond Spartan already.
Right.
So great. So Tom
Oh,
writes, if you're still awake, he's put some resources in the appendix below and some recommendations on training runs, which he does talk about in the area that highlight the unique geology of the region. He had some great idea about, acclimating and training runs before actually getting to the vents. Really, really smart.
yep.
The logistics, the two airports to get there. I guess Colorado Springs has its own municipal
Yeah, a
airport.
little mini airport. So if you're coming in from the West Coast, some smaller destinations, you may be able to get into Colorado Springs. If not, Denver is massive and certainly an easy enough drive. Just make sure you plan ahead and car rental and be on top of everything because they can run out of cars. Can travel can be pretty busy flying in and out of Denver.
So the defining feature of this race is the altitude at 5,700 feet
That's right.
above sea level. It's like over a mile. It's crazy. And it's
Yes.
an issue to be dealt with for many racers. I think that would be true for you and for me as well.
Yes. Us coming from the flat side, definitely. Seeing how we are at about 270 feet elevation right now, where we are sitting in our
In the
neck
basements
neck
or
neck
where kitchens,
neck neck of the woods. Yeah,
yeah.
on the East Coast. So yeah, that would definitely be something that I would consider certainly going to this race. And Tom definitely had an absolute plan to do the best he could uh, thinking about science and kind of going in his own direction. And
Absolutely.
I think he's got a great plan.
He had, a plan pre-race and post-race, And, speaking of pre-race and post-race preparations.
If you're an athlete or runner and you're looking to reduce soreness and recover faster, then you're absolutely going to want one of these as part of your kit. It's a D5 Pro massage gun, which takes self-care to the next level with advanced features and professional-grade power for unparalleled muscle recovery. Developed by renowned physical therapists Bob and Brad, it harnesses the power of 60% stronger percussion to effectively alleviate knots, stiffness, and soreness. Switch effortlessly between multiple intensity settings and attachments tailored to your needs via the intuitive, clear OLED display. With an ergonomic design, you can easily target those hard-to-reach areas without strain. Enjoy the luxury of whisper-quiet operation for up to 4 hours of uninterrupted relief. Upgrade your self-care routine with a D5 Pro massage gun and experience the future of targeted muscle therapy anytime, anywhere. For more information, check out the links in the description below or log on to bobandbrad.com. Bob and Brad, the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Okay, so Tom continues on. He began hydrating 5 days in advance with liquid IV. Very cool, which increased his overall water intake significantly. He talks about hydration a couple of times here. He thinks this helped him acclimate, but there's no scientific evidence to support this approach, so says he, even though it seems to have worked for him very, very well. Most literature says it takes 3 to 5 days, or in some instances, weeks to acclimate. Yikes. So basically, he gathered valuable information and threw it out the window because it didn't fit into his schedule. Right on. Okay, he's a practical guy.
Yeah.
Armed with the knowledge that there's a fine line between stupidity and courage, he came up with his strategy, and his strategy was to arrive on Wednesday, get a couple of modified training sessions in on Thursday and Friday. Very smart. If you've got the bandwidth and you can do that, that sounds like that is the way to go.
It's a pretty good play. Yep. And then even on Thursday, so did some training on Wednesday. Thursday, he actually drove up to the top of Pikes Peak, which sits at 15,000 feet, which is worthy just to drive and check out the view. Anyways, but then he wound up kind of walking around the perimeter at the top, just to see what 15,000 feet would feel like to his lungs and head and body.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So he did all of that. And, on Friday, he went to a state park, the Garden of Gods, or Garden of the Gods, as you had, mentioned before, Damer. And he did a harder workout. So he's a maniac. So with the 2 sessions, he felt that he verified in his head that his head wouldn't explode, during the race, and he cleared himself for takeoff. And so says he, how's that for science? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, I'm surprised he writes, too, that the weather was hot. It was in the 80s by 9 a.m. Didn't see that coming. And there was little cloud coverage, so I guess, it makes it extra warm, and the prospect of sunburn seems like it's a little higher. So
and certainly taking a look at this map, I don't see a lot of tree cover, and just knowing that area, so that looks like a sunblock apply.
Yeah,
certainly. If the weather so be, and it seems like he didn't see much sun cover. I guess you never know with weather, though. I mean, you're right there on the range, so you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So that certainly makes it interesting. So as usual with a Spartan race, weather can definitely be a factor.
Absolutely. All right. Tom writes that this is one of the most unique race venues on the Spartan calendar. The race is held at Fort Carson, which is an Army garrison that is home to the 4th Infantry Division and the 10th Special Forces Group. Cool.
Yep, very cool. An active military installation, so it's just an honor to be there. And this is an honor series, so that's very cool as well.
Absolutely. He mentions that I guess the festival area had the typical sort of Spartan vibe, but it was more, I guess, focused and influenced by the military with the, National Guard of Colorado, Special Forces, Border Patrol, and several veterans groups being there. It's pretty cool, and it gave a unique perspective on the
Yeah.
value of physical fitness, honor, and effort. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
definitely
that's
cool.
cool.
All right, so the race, I guess, historically has been a trifecta weekend, but this year they added the Ultra, very cool, and an expanded kids race. Excellent. The race was very well attended with over 10,000 racers over the 2 days,
That's
which
good.
included 700 kid racers. That's good numbers. Well,
Yep.
that's good to
Does
hear.
even,
Oh, look at this. And
yeah.
Tom said he ran into several OCR King subscribers on the
Oh,
Beast course.
very cool.
Cool. Cool. That means that
Excellent.
they're familiar with Tom and
That's
they
right.
know that Tom was going to be running the race as he does most races, and he
That's right.
provides excellent sit reps. So they are also, I would
That's right.
say, you know, uh, friends or familiar with Tom, which is a
Yeah,
good thing.
very cool.
Excellent. Shout out to everybody. Cool. Very cool. All right. So the course was situated in the middle of a topographical bowl. Cool. The majority of the race was spent going up and down the hills with long, gradual climbs and descents on connecting trails. Though the climbs were no more than 600 feet, there were a total of 9 at incremental elevations, some with a 35% incline.
Nice.
Okay, so
Yep.
you're getting up there
Definitely ups and
with a
downs.
slope. Mm-hmm.
Certainly looking at this map and especially the ultra up and down, and there's some steep ones on the the beast and the super. So some very decent ascents there.
That's getting steep. All right, so this all added up to about 2,000 feet for the Beast and 4,500 feet for the Ultra.
Yep. Biggest factors, however, were altitude and the heat. So,
So
so
you
here
got
he
to
mentions racers like us coming from sea level will be tested. Certainly, the altitude probably being the most. The heat also can be managed. So he kind of talks about kind of what we, yeah, right here, no tree cover whatsoever.
yeah.
So sun spray, neck protection, hat, head covering, whatever you need certainly can help. Tom decided to run with a water belt and a small pack with 2 bottles of frozen water. The,
Smart.
the frozen bottles offered some cooling and then consumption. And he also had some liquid IV packs to keep that hydration levels and all his levels consistent as he did up to race day. So very smart.
Smart. Great advice. As far as the obstacles, he thought the obstacles were placed evenly throughout the course. Very good. That is good to hear. Considering this is a military training ground, accessing the entire course was practical. Dunk wall came early. Interesting. And the last obstacle was actually Herc hoist right before the fire jump. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. He didn't feel like it was a final gauntlet where they stacked up all of the arm-centric stuff at the end. Cool. And there was no water nor mud really on the course. So the only obstacles that were slick was the slip wall.
Yeah,
And that
right,
came
right
after
after,
the dunk wall. All
right
right.
after dunk,
Interesting.
as it usually does. Yep.
This race was part of the Honors Series.
Yep.
Cool. Always like those. The Honors Series medals are always better. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's
That's just. I, correct me if you don't agree, but I think they're just better, especially with the ultra medals lately. They're cooler,
that's right.
above and beyond the significance of the Honor Series and respect for the military folks, of course. But just on a trivial point or silly point, whatever, the medals are better. So very, very cool.
That's right.
Chad Conley, a former Green Beret who has been designated military liaison for Spartan, he is going to expand the Honor Series to 10 venues next season. Excellent.
Awesome.
Going to
Yes.
actively elicit feedback from Spartan racers. Well, I just sort of gave you some, right off the cuff, honest shooting from the hip
That's
advice.
right.
Give us more of those. Give us better cool medals, which come
That's
along
right.
with Excellent. Would love
That's
to
right.
do that.
Chad, thank you for your service. Bring back West Point because that race was fun.
That race was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Wow. Good point. Wow. Damer.
That's
Gold
right.
star.
I
Awesome.
love that race.
Me too. All right. So, in summary, one of the best things about endurance races is that there are literally races everywhere in the United States all year round. The Spartan calendar reflects this, and Tom tries to mix in a variety for venues, parts of the country, and degrees of difficulty when he puts his schedule together. Very, very smart.
That's right.
His goal is to compete and to have fun by adding in a little bit of quote unquote, what could possibly go wrong as much as he can. So he highly recommends Colorado, this Colorado Springs race. It's a fantastic event and a great possible summer ultra, so says Tom. You could bring along a friend and have fun visiting the Rockies. And well, so he says, okay.
On the risk side.
You could get heat stroke or altitude sickness, but in return for taking some risk, you get to run in a unique part of the country and compete on a military base that has incredible historical significance. What could go wrong?
Perfect.
Right?
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. Tom, thank you for this. It sounds like he had a great experience out there. It sounds like a fantastic locale, great venue. And it's good to see that they expanded by including the ultra out there. I think if you can fit a sprint, you can fit a super. And if you can fit a trifecta, you can fit an ultrafecta. So good on Spartan. They're coming along. Cool.
That's right. Yep.
So,
Tom's got a ton of extra references here, all sorts of information we missed about the area, about Fort Carson, and he even has whole sorts of training run suggestions about what he was doing and additional info at the bottom of this. So definitely do a read as well. Don't just listen to us.
absolutely. Check that out. We'll put that link, as I mentioned, to our blog. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps to grow. The channel is greatly appreciated. Check out Tom on Instagram. And if you see him out there, say hello. If you see us out there on the course, definitely come up and say hello. We love to meet folks and talk to them. But until that time, remember, as always, train hard.
Have fun.